Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome back to another episode of Psychedelics. Today, I want to do a tips to trip video, and I'm going to do it like a timeline. So, before the trip, during the trip, and after the trip. So, this is kind of like, for beginners or those who are looking to kind of enhance their experience. So, feel free to take notes along the way. So the days before, you're gonna want to plan ahead for your trip, like you would actually plan for an actual trip, like going on vacation or something. So you have to put, some thought into it before just, taking it. If you didn't see my last video, which was 3 things that everybody should know if they're taking psychedelics, please watch that because I'm going to mention things from there in this. So obviously start thinking and setting your intentions for the experience. It can be detailed, vague, doesn't really matter as long as you have a good positive intention going in. Now, with psychedelics though, it's like you won't necessarily get what you want, but you'll get what you need, okay? A very crucial thing is obviously preparing your set and setting. We talked about that in the last video, but it implies the physical, mental, social environment. When you're preparing your set and setting, obviously your intentions. It'd be good to meditate beforehand, kind of practicing what it's like to be in that mind state. So they're actually very similar if you look at the neuroscience. So meditation is great to use if you're looking to kind of recreate kind of what the experience will be like. Prepare a musical playlist, preferably without lyrics because it enhances your deep thought. I personally like listening to meditative music, so stuff like this. It's very nice for me. And obviously be in a comfortable environment, removing any possible anxieties that can disrupt your experience. And you want to be in control of the setting, not the setting controlling you. You obviously don't want your parents coming in being like, you gotta do the dishes, man, and you're just there having this big epiphany and you're like, I can't be disrupted now. I'm battling the demons inside my brain. And if you're planning your trip indoors, tidy up, make things all pretty and nice, Obtain a trip sitter if you'd like. So, a trip sitter is someone who looks after you, is someone you can talk to, can get things for you, things you may need, and they're there for reassurance. They're there to keep an eye on things and remind you that you'll never be left alone and not to worry about your physical body during the experience and let your mind go deep as it needs to be. So think of yourself as an astronaut. You're going off into space on a journey to engage with whatever you find there, and the trip sitter is like ground control. You can be confident that they got your back. So trip sitters should preferably have experience with psychedelics, but all trip sitters should research on how to actually trip sit. Please do this. Make sure your trip sitter has done their research and knows how to trip sit. I don't care if you have done 1,000,000,000 psychedelics in your life. I don't care. Do your research. Know how to trip sit. So ensure your trip sitter knows what the fuck they's doing. Now, I want to show you, my type of set and setting. So typically I trip alone if I'm taking a lower dose, but I always have someone with me when I'm taking higher doses. I have a nice clean room. I make this little ritual type thing to really solidify my good intentions for the experience. It's kind of random, but it just feels like it's kind of like intuition for me. And so yeah, I have this bowl with essential oils and this kind of tea. It also creates some pretty interesting visuals along with it. It also smells hella nice. I have my intentions mapped out on the floor, which is also a notepad to write things down during the experience. I have these nice fun disco lights. I have my music. I have this yoga mat to stretch down and lay on. I also cleanse and bless the mushrooms before I take them. And when taking them, I always thank the mushroom for all that it's about to teach me. I also make sure that it's on a day where my parents won't be intruding or needing my help. I make sure I finish up whatever they need me to do beforehand, and if needed, I communicate with them if I'm going to be taking mushrooms, so I'm glad I have that privilege to be able to communicate with my parents that way. The day of. Meditate beforehand if you'd like. Completely avoid screen time. So have a light breakfast at least 3 hours before taking the psychedelic. Helps a lot with nausea because I find that a lot of people tend to eat a lot beforehand, especially fast foods and stuff. It doesn't really sit well. You don't want to be nauseous. Some people throw up because of it, so don't do that. And also hydrate. Make sure to hydrate. Prepare some ginger tea if you're worried about getting nauseous, because that really helps. Wear something comfortable, especially. Go over your intentions. Now, don't go on your phone. Just completely avoid your phone. Your experience is not about going on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Avoid external stimuli, which is the phone thing. Anyways, go with the flow. Don't try to steer. Trust the trajectory of the trip. Trust, let go, be open. And you can go over your intentions if you like. Talk to your trip sitter if you need to. If you're feeling a bit anxious, just remind yourself to relax. Float downstream. Let go. Let go into the experience. And that effect can be dramatic. Sit with any feelings that kind of come up. Don't try to resist or repress the feelings. Let the experience flow. So the following excerpt is from Michael Pollan's How to Change Your Mind, What the New Science of Psychedelics Teaches Us About Consciousness, Dying, Addiction, Depression, and Transcendence. I think this is a brilliant book. I think it was fantastically written. I recommend it to everybody. So here are ways to handle various difficulties that may arise. Some people might feel a bit paranoid that they're losing their minds or they may be dying. It's like when you see a mountain lion. Everyone experiences seeing a mountain lion. Anyways, if you run, it will chase you. So you must stand your ground. Instead of turning away from any monster, move toward it. Stand your ground and demand to know, what are you doing in my mind? Or what do you have to teach me, right? So that's another thing about suppressing the feelings that may come up. That happens sometimes with people, and you just gotta know you're just on a psychedelic. You're not going crazy. This is not gonna be forever, right? You're gonna come down, things are gonna go back to normal. So for now, just let go. Let go of all those things. Flow into the experience, float downstream. You're there on a ride, you're not steering the ride, but you're just experiencing things, and it's gonna be okay, and you're gonna be perfectly fine. If there's something scary, go towards it. If there's a door, open it. If there's a staircase, climb up. Also remember you're in control of the environment, so if you want to go outside, you can go outside. If you want to play the guitar, play the guitar. If you want to dance around, dance around. If you want to look at things, look at things. You are in control of your environment. Write things down if you like. If you're having, epiphanies or something, or realizing things, try to write it down so you can integrate those things later. Also, hydrate yourself. Right after the experience. Eat if you're hungry, but don't eat anything too heavy. So let the experience sink in, reflect on what you just experienced. Write down what you've learned. So mind map is very helpful. Start integrating. Go back to that mind map every day to remind yourself. or the notes to remind yourself on what you need to work on, what you need to do. Meditate. Meditation is obviously a great way to go back to that mental state. Avoid electronics and external stimuli to really reflect efficiently. And yeah, that's all for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone enjoyed. Peace.